Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिनी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिनी। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सकगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सकगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंद सर्व कारण कारणम। हरे कृष्ण। By the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, we have successfully finished 9 slokas in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It is Bhakti Yoga. So in this chapter, only 20 slokas are there. So we have already finished 9 slokas. Today we are going to study the 10th sloka. But now Krishna is teaching us what we should do, what we are supposed to do. If you are able to do this, then do this. If you are not able to do this, then at least do this. So Krishna is giving us relaxations. If you can't do this, then at least try doing this. So like that, step by step, Krishna is giving us opportunities, basically. So we just have to understand this Bhagavad Gita fully and just follow what Krishna says. And Krishna is actually asking us to remember him all the time, to fix our mind and intelligence only on him, not on anything else. 24/7, all the time, our mind should be focused only on Krishna. Our mind should be remembering only Krishna, thinking only about Krishna. So that's what Krishna is asking us to do. For us, in this material world, most of the time, not most of the time, almost all the time, our mind is used to think about material sense objects. We are not having any time to think about Krishna. We are not having any time to remember Krishna. In general, in this material world, this Maya is so powerful and so strong, and we are so much attached to material sense objects that we don't find time to remember Krishna or think about Krishna. We are very much overwhelmed with the amount of work what we are doing in this material world because of our attachment to material sense objects. We are doing a lot of calculations. We think that by doing this I will achieve that. By doing that I will go there. I want this. I want that. So like that, in this material world, we are having so much of attachment, so much of thoughts and plans and everything we are doing it. But Krishna is teaching us in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is saying very clearly in Bhagavad Gita, you just remember me. Just think about me. I will give you what you need. That's what Krishna is saying. You don't have to run after material sense objects. You don't have to waste your time. So that's what is very important. You just sit in one place, just think about me. That's it. I will take care of you. That's what Krishna is saying. But really, it will happen if we do that. Sometimes we may ask a question that how it is possible, how we have to work, how like that. But if we really fully depend on Krishna, Krishna is going to take care of us very well. There is no doubt about it, because he is the source of everything. First of all, we need to believe in that. We need to believe in that everything is coming from Krishna. Natatasti vinayatsyan. Krishna is saying that there is nothing else in this world without me. That's what Krishna is saying. So, in the 11th chapter we already studied. Krishna already told us very clearly that there is nothing else is there without me. So, anything moving or non-moving, chara chara, everything is actually only coming from Krishna only. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaga sarvam pravartate. I am the source of everything. Everything emanates from me. That's what Krishna is saying there. So if we just have that knowledge that everything is coming from Krishna, and if we dedicate this life, this human life, very, very precious opportunity, what we have got. There are billions of neurons in our brain. They are all working, and we have got a very, very nice, perfect machine like human brain. Like normally when you want to buy laptop, for example, or a desktop, any computer. So you are looking for excellent configuration. Basically, you want a very high CPU and a high RAM memory and this and that, and the processor, very fast processor. So a lot of things you are looking so that it will work fast. It will do all the things very fast. So if we consider that way, our brain, this is a very excellent machine actually. It's working so fast. It thinks so fast. In fact, we have got the forebrain where it is known as frontal lobe, which can do all this thinking, planning, and executing all these activities. Other animals or other beings, they don't have that. So we have that. So we have to now effectively use our brain to actually connect with Krishna. That's it. That's what is very important. So we have to use our mind to connect with Krishna, and this is a very great opportunity, this human body, what we have got. So if we effectively make use of this life only for that reason, that is connecting with Krishna, not really so much attached to materials and subjects. Our basic needs are very much fulfilled by Krishna. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaga yajnat bhavati parjanya yajnaka karma samudbhavaga. So we are not producing any grains. That's what we need to survive in this world. We have to eat. We need energy. How are we getting that energy? First of all, the energy is coming from the sun. So then that energy is getting transferred to the plants and vegetables, and then we take that. So then it goes through that food cycle. So the plants, they take carbon dioxide and they release oxygen. So they make sugar. So glucose basically. So the plants are making glucose from carbon dioxide and water. So water is supplied by Krishna. So the carbon dioxide also supplied by Krishna, and for that it needs the energy. So that's what photosynthesis. So that energy is also supplied by Krishna. The sunlight is coming, Krishna is giving. Prabhasmi sasi suryayo. I am the light of the sun and moon. That's what Krishna is saying there. So even for the juice of the fruits and vegetables, so we need the moonlight also. Somo bhutva rasatmakaha. So even as per the modern science, we need the moonlight for the vegetables for the juice in it. So somo bhutva rasatmakaha. Krishna is saying that. So Krishna is saying that I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. Gamavisya bhutani dharayami aham ojasa. Ushnami chausadigi sarvaga somu bhutva rasatmaka. So Krishna is keeping all these planets in their orbit. Krishna is supplying the energy. Krishna is supplying the rasa, the juice by the sunlight, by the somu bhutva rasatmaka. and Krishna is giving the energy by the sunlight. So that's what this photosynthesis is happening. So with water also Krishna is supplying. So tapami aham varsham. So I withhold and send forth. So I am the rain and the heat. Tapami aham varsham. So I am the heat and the rain. Tapami aham varsham nigrhinami utsurjami cha. I withhold and send forth. That's what Krishna is saying there. So it is coming from Krishna. So basically the energy is supplied by Krishna in the form of sunlight, and the water is also supplied by Krishna. So aham varsham. So I am the rain. So Krishna is giving the rain and Krishna is giving the water. And so that way everything is happening and the photosynthesis happens, and that's where the glucose is produced, and that gets into, we consume it, and then there is a whole lot of processes happening like the electron transport chain. So within our, all this metabolism, all those things is happening, the glycolysis, everything. So we get the energy in our body to act. So that's why we are able to move our hands and legs, because our ATP is produced. Because of this, what the glucose, what we get it from the food. So that's where the ATP is produced. So ATP is our energy. So basically we are able to move or walk, and we are able to act, we are able to do everything because we are getting this energy. So ultimately this energy is supplied by Krishna. So when that happens, then why can't we say that just sit idle, don't worry about anything, remember Krishna, think about Krishna, do a service to Krishna, and always focus on serving Krishna. So Krishna will take care of everything. So why can't it happen? When Krishna is already taking care of us in all sense, Krishna is supplying our food. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaga. Everything is happening. So the living entities, they will sustain by the food, subsist on the food grains, and the food grains are produced by the rain. Parjanyad anna sambhavaga. So all these things are happening by Krishna's arrangement. So Krishna knows our needs, and Krishna takes care of us very well. And we need to realize and understand this very, very important scientific fact that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and simply surrender unto Him. That's it. So that means we will not have any ahankara, no false ego. We won't be like a demon. We won't be like an idiot or fool. That's what is very important. So simply without having the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, simply thinking that I am great, I am the doer, I don't believe in God, all such things. So that is called ahankara, and Krishna is saying that he's the vimut atma, he's the fool. That's what Krishna is saying. So the real knowledge, that is the Bhagavad Gita knowledge, this is the time-tested knowledge. And Krishna is teaching in this knowledge very, very clearly that we are not the body, we are the soul. Very scientifically Krishna is teaching. Whatever advancement we make in science, there is absolutely no way that we will be able to prove the existence of the soul with our modern instruments. It is impossible, because the soul is completely spiritual. So we cannot measure it. It is aprameyam. It is indestructible and aprameyam, immeasurable. So anasino aprameyam. So that's what our soul. We are not the body, we are the soul. And we need to simply study and understand this Bhagavad Gita. And this body is just a machine. Yantra. That's it. This body is just a machine, and it's perfectly working. There's so much of activities are happening, so much of within our cell itself. There are a lot of things are happening. A lot of things. It's within our cell, inside the nucleus, the DNA gets replicated, and then it also gets transcripted, and then it's translated, and proteins are made, and a lot of things are happening within our body, each and every cell. When we breathe, even without our knowledge, without even our understanding, that we always breathe in and breathe out, and in our lungs, the oxygen and carbon dioxide get exchanged. So then everything, this is all, so much of science is happening in our body, and this design cannot come by just by chance. That is so stupid. If we simply say that, oh, this is by chance, no, there is something wrong if you think like that. So this is by design. This is by perfect design. The way arteries and veins are designed, one is taking the blood and another is bringing back the blood to the heart. All such things, this is not by chance. The way the kidney is purifying our blood, so that is not by chance. So everything is by design. Everything is by perfect design. Everything is by science and scientific. And that way, we are not the body, we are the soul. That is also science. So just because you can't see the soul, you cannot perceive the soul, means you cannot, with our senses, we cannot see the soul. We cannot experience, we cannot like feel the soul. So we cannot say that there is no soul. That is not correct. So that's why in the second chapter, in the 11th sloka to 30th sloka, in 20 slokas, Krishna is very, very clearly explaining that we are not the body, we are the soul. So the sole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to understand and realize that we are the soul. We are not the body, we are the soul. And act with that knowledge every day. In each and every activity, everything we do, one should do with that consciousness, with that understanding that we are not the body, we are the soul. We should not be thinking all the time that I am the body, like that, and working for the body, all such things. That is all foolish. That's all waste of our time, waste of this human life, which is so precious, very, very rare. We have got it. We have got it. We have to use it. We have to use it means we need to use it with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So only if we get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we will be able to properly use this human body, this machine perfectly. Otherwise, we will simply waste this. We will simply waste this life, and this machine will deteriorate, and it just fails. That's it. Every machine fails. Even if you buy a new car, brand new car, that's going to eventually get old, and at some point of time, it's going to completely break down, and you need to send it to junkyard. So, like that, the same thing happens to our body. Our body, maybe when we are young, we may think that everything is fine, but there is no problem for me. Everything is going great, like that. But everyone is going to get old. Everyone is going to die. So that way, there is no point in just envying anyone, having envy on others, that that person has got this, that person has got that, and all such things. It's all useless. Everyone is going to die. Then what is the point in thinking that somebody is great and he's rich and he's billionaire or all such things? Everything is useless, because it doesn't matter whether a person is a beggar or a richest person in this world. It doesn't matter, because everyone is going to die. That's what is very important. Everyone is going to lose their body. That's what is very important. So that kind of knowledge we need to get from Bhagavad Gita. And we need to realize that and effectively make use of this life, human life, to realize ourselves and do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna with the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and connect with Krishna and do everything for Krishna. So then, by Krishna's mercy, we will be able to slowly detach ourselves from this material world. We don't have to think about these material sense objects all the time. They are not going to serve any purpose. We have to remember, we have to think about Krishna all the time, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna all the time, because we are going to be kicked out of this body and we will be completely disconnected from this body. We won't even know that we existed here. That's what happens when we die. As long as we are living, we have the memory, because our memory is stored temporarily in our brain only. It is not stored in Atma or mind anywhere. Mind is accessing the memory which is stored in the brain. The long-term memory is stored in the brain, that is hippocampus. So there is a part of the brain. So that's where all the memory is stored. So the memory is stored in all those neurons and synaptic connections. So everything we can access it. But when we die, we are not going to remember anything in this world. When we leave this body, we will be completely disconnected from this world. So that's what we need to understand, that much temporary our life in this material world is. All these relations, all these connections, all these achievements, everything we think, everything is as long as the soul is able to be in this body. As long as we are able to recollect our memory, as long as we are able to access our memory. Even while living also, when we get old, we will get all kinds of diseases like dementia, a lot of diseases. Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, so many diseases to the brain. When it sets in, we will forget. We cannot even recollect, especially some of the memory. If we don't recollect often, then we cannot even get it back. So that's what we need to understand. We need to understand. So that way, there is no need to get stressed out. There is no need to worry about anything. So we don't have to really focus so much on this material sense objects and get stressed, because stress is the major killer. Stress produces all kinds of diseases. when we get stressed out, when we are worrying, when we are focusing on the material sense objects without remembering Krishna, when we are attached so much to the material world, material sense objects, and then when we get stressed out, so we are actually we are physically damaging our body. When we have mentally, when we are disturbed, so that is going to affect our physical body. All the our physiology, our systems, everything gets screwed up. That's what we need to understand. So when we keep on activating the sympathetic nervous system, that is not good. So that means our heart is keep pumping blood more faster, and that's going to create even more trouble. So blood pressure increase, heart rate increases. All this is definitely, there will be a lot of digestion problems. We won't be able to digest. We won't be able to. The bowel movement will not be very good. All such things will happen because of the stress in this material world. So if we just remember Krishna, if we just do everything for Krishna, so we can just peacefully sleep and we don't have to think or worry about anything. So that way we will be able to really achieve peace of mind and happiness. So the real peace of mind, the real happiness, it's actually there in this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. So that's what we are getting by Krishna's message. So now Krishna is teaching us that in the sloka number, so 8, what we studied, Krishna said that, Mayeva mana adatsva mai buddhim niveshayah nivasisyasi mayeva athavudvam nasamsayaga. You focus your mind upon me. Mayeva mana adatsva. You fix your mind upon me. You focus your intelligence upon me. By doing so, you will live in me, you will come to me. There is no doubt about it. Athavudvam nasamsayaga. But if you are not able to do that, Atha chittam samadhathum nasaknosi mayi stiram abhyasa yogena tatho mamichaptum dhananjaya. So if you are not able to do that, Atha chittam samadhathum nasaknosi mayi stiram, if you are not able to steadily focus your mind and intelligence on me, then practice doing that. Abhyasena abhyasa. So by doing so, mam ichchaptum dhananjaya. Abhyasa yogena tato mam ichchaptum dhananjaya. You develop a desire to come to me. That's what Krishna is saying. Now in this sloka, what we are studying in the 10th sloka, Krishna is continuing in the 12th chapter. Abhyasepi asamattosi matkarma paramo bhava madar tamapi karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. Abhyasepi asamathosi. So if you are unable to practice remembering me, that's what Krishna said, that abhyasa yogena tato mam ichchaptum dhananjaya. We already studied about the abhyasa. Abhyasa is very important. When Arjuna told Krishna, it's very difficult to curb the restless mind, control the restless mind. Krishna also agreed that there is no doubt it is very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by practice with detachment. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. But here Krishna is saying that if you are not able to take that practice, if you are not able to remember me all the time, abhyasepi asammartosi matkarma paramo bhavam. You just render devotional service unto me. Matkarma paramo bhava. That's what I always say every time. If you remember, not even a single day I will miss saying that we need to spread this message. That is a direct devotional service to Krishna. Matkarma paramo bhava. So if we are all, now we are 50 devotees joining every day. So, but there are millions of devotees. Where are they? We are only 50 devotees joining every day. But we are all very committed. There is no doubt. But where are those millions of devotees? There are there in this world. So we need to do that devotional service. We need to go and identify. We need to spread this message of Krishna, message of Bhagavad Gita. This is the perfect science. So that is the devotional service. That's what Matkarma Paramo Bhava. There is no better service to Krishna other than spreading this message of Bhagavad Gita. Of course, we can go to temple and clean the temple. We can do a lot of other services in the temple. They are all great service. But this service, everyone has to do. Everyone should be doing this, spreading this message. Just tell everyone, just publicize, advertise. that we are studying Bhagavad Gita every day. Every day at this time, we are studying Bhagavad Gita at length. We are studying Bhagavad Gita exactly the way Krishna taught Arjuna. Exactly. In the battlefield, whatever Arjuna asked question, exactly. If you notice, all these minutes what we are studying Bhagavad Gita, I have not gone out of this Bhagavad Gita at all. All the time we are focusing only within Bhagavad Gita. Everything is based on Bhagavad Gita. So that way Krishna is saying that Madartamapi karmani kurvan siddhim havapsyasi. So by doing such rendering devotional service unto me, you will achieve perfection. That's what kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. That's what Krishna said that ya idam paramam guhyam madbhakte swabhitasari bhaktimmayi param kritva mam evaisasya samsaya. If anyone gives this most confidential knowledge to my devotees, I guarantee devotional service unto me, and they will come to me, there is no doubt about it. So that is the service we need to do. So by doing this, we will definitely be able to practice chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We will be definitely able to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and focus our mind and intelligence on Krishna. So all these things are going to happen for all of us. One thing I can assure at this point of time, that there is absolutely no doubt that we are all going to be freed from this material world, material modes of nature, and we are all going to go to Krishna, Goloka. We are going to go there. There is no doubt. But let's go fast. Let's go quick. So let's not struggle in this material world, dukkalayam, for a very long time. So we have got that opportunity, and we are using this opportunity by Krishna's causeless mercy. So we have finished the 10th sloka in the 12th chapter. So Krishna is saying that if you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. That's what Krishna is saying there. Hare Krishna. I will stop now and we will discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.